Hello and welcome to my oral presentation for the Surfaces and Strategies module of the MA Photography, Falmouth University. I am going to talk about the ways in which I am producing and presenting images in comparison with various artists and photographers, highlighting areas for my improvement. I reference the publications, workshops and exhibitions I have been involved with over the past 3 months. Finally, I present thoughts for my future directions. A review of my images taken from my project Beauty in the Beach since the start of the course, and an inspiring lecture by Wellbeings encouraged me to reflect on the methods I have been using. A year ago, I was immersed in non-participant observation, photographing each item of beach debris as I found it. I went on to add an investigative element, wanting to know more about the sources and management of waste, constructing a timeline of non-human, although human-made, life for each type of debris found. Then came typologies, linguistic categorization and classification, not just of the types of beach debris, but also of the ways in which I had photographed and processed images. This process began to transform their identities. In parallel to moving from quantitative to qualitative or heuristic methods, the images I produce are moving in style from representations to abstractions. I have been learning about, experimenting with, and have developed a workshop for others in using pinhole, cyanotype and scanning techniques, the latter becoming a significant process in my image making. I plan to devote more time to these and other techniques for using light, having been inspired by the 2018 Shape of Light exhibition at the Tate Modern, London. Pre-digitalisation. Significant work was going on with experimentation in using different materials and methods to produce images, Brassai and Man Ray being but 2 examples. I am studying the work of Laura Nissinen, Maya Rochette and Daisuke Yokota in relation to my current thinking about my project. For example, while colours and patterns in Maya Rochette's A Rock is a River, meta-river, may have some similarities with colours in my red fishing line, mine is naive and superficial in being digitally processed with a very heavy hand, whereas the former has an appealing balance of colour depth and intriguing mystery as to how it came about. I am not sure I wish to follow their paths entirely, but I do want to venture further with experimentation with surfaces, substances and scanning. As Joanna Zielinska explains in Non-Human Photography, the possibilities for image creation and distribution are limitless. However, with these methods of production, my images are becoming disguised, recognized immediately only by myself, with other people requiring explanation. Thus they seem increasingly remote and disconnected from my aim to increase awareness of debris on beaches. A review of the work of others concerned with the waste we produce revealed several ways in which such messages can be achieved through direct association with seascapes and human presence in the images, for example, Andy Hughes, Jeremy Carroll and Antoine Rapès, and by ingenious titling, presentation and associated publication which read in conjunction reveals all, as in Mandy Barker's Beyond Drifting, Imperfectly Known Animals. In an indoor or outdoor exhibition, my images could be presented with series titles, such as in Keith Arnett's Pictures from a Rubbish Tip and Laura Nissinen's Aleatory Variable, with clear explanations of how the images were made. In this way, my current mission may yet be achieved. Association and collaboration with a cause is another way. For example, Surfers Against Sewage, Marine Conservation Society and the National Trust, through being exhibited on beach cleans, featured in campaigns and shown on the products they sell. In adding an installation to my current exhibition, 2 of my images have been printed on beach towels. I am observing how people are stepping over the more dangerous looking debris, even though it is an image on a flat towel. I am now starting to think about the potential impact of using these toweling images on beaches as a way to raise awareness of the issue while exhibiting my work in the future. As Charlotte Cotton points out, with digital technology, we're no longer confined to flat paper and the ways of displaying in frames and on walls associated with analogue photography. Images in my current exhibition are produced on 5mm 4x PVC foam board using UV printing directly onto the panel. They are advertised as water, fire and scratch resistant, although I've not tested these claims. I came across this option when researching how to print and display my images. I had considered sustainable cotton rag papers and various frames, including driftwood, but I realised I was trying to contain the subject matter, which had been freely roaming oceans and beaches for some time. Images of rubbish in conventional, pleasing-to-look-at frames did not work for me. I had also begun to think about displaying outdoors at some point, and the board's properties would allow this. Only open for a short time, my exhibition and installation is already yielding invaluable information for my engagement in such an activity in the future. Oral and written feedback from attendees at the opening event and subsequently ranges from appreciation of individual images to positive acknowledgement in taking up this important cause. Images I thought might have the most appeal are, while those I personally do not much like are appealing to some others. The surfaces I have used to display images, boards, ceramics, glass, acrylic and toweling, are creating interest that appears to be adding to the overall statement intended by having an installation as well as images on walls. By collecting for the Royal National Lifeboat Institution and Surfers Against Sewage during my exhibition, I have established valuable contacts who have advertised my exhibition and will be useful for the future. I will now talk about the publications I've been involved with in the last 3 months. The first publication for this module, in the style of Ed Ruscha, was a book about telegraphy as seen from my home called Poles Apart, with duplicate images in colour and black and white. This taught me to see as well as look, and also the project provided an opportunity to learn about publishing with blurb. Working with a group to produce global breakfasts in a week was certainly a challenge. In the absence of strong leadership to hold the group together, each of us presented the work in different formats, although we were using the same images and introductory statement. I also produced what to expect leaflets and workshop booklets for the No Camera workshop and From Landscapes to Nurdles workshop, and a book of my images selected from those taken over the past year. Initially made using printer paper, this became a small book mounted on card pages. The book's small size and significant cropping by the publisher has left me somewhat dissatisfied with the result. In contrast, as one of 3 designers for the Landings 2018 exhibition, I am delighted with the products we have made. Not only did we complete the Landings 2018 exhibition site, but also designed and produced 3 theme-based posters, an aperitif in the form of a brief showcase video, and a publication side dish. This professional experience with accountability to a commissioner and responsibility for participants has been an invaluable learning opportunity for me. With the right facilities, for example sharing on Slack, OneDrive and Excel, and people with the right skills, experience and willing to use their abilities, for example in design Camtasia, researching, writing, liaising, etc., much can be achieved. During this module, I have experienced several roles: creator, collaborator, curator, team player, lead, teacher, mentor. The module has also exposed some of my shortcomings, which I intend to address in the coming months. These include improving my knowledge of using colour palettes in images and publications, in developing skills in InDesign, in investigating sustainable surfaces for printing images and forms of publication available, and researching the use of non-camera techniques in more depth and detail. Finally, with regard to my intention to continue experimentation in making images for the time being, I plan to take the advice of Well-Beings, who cited Keats in his lecture in 2014. To dwell in the space of unknowing, thereby staying in uncertainty to allow new ways to emerge. And in the words of John Zarkowski, my images will become pictures.